If you want to learn how to create better quality videos using just your iPhone, this video is for you. Hi, I'm Mike with Mike Zuniga Films, and when I was first starting out trying to learn how to make videos, I was hopping from video to video on YouTube, trying to find the best tutorials to learn from, and I know you know that feeling as well. It took a lot of time and effort. So that's why I wanted to create this video starter kit playlist for all of you, so that you can binge watch and learn from. This is actually video number 1 of the series, and I wanted to focus on making better videos using just your iPhone. If you don't have an iPhone, that's okay. You'll still be able to learn filmmaking and editing techniques. When I was first starting out, I didn't have a fancy camera to make videos with, and I only had my smartphone. Nowadays, video technology on the iPhone and any smartphone is way better now, so you can actually create awesome videos with this device. In this playlist, I focus on creating one video from start to finish using an iPhone. With that said, making this video playlist took some time and effort, so I hope all of you enjoy. And if you do, if you like the content in any of these videos, please like and subscribe. It'll really help the algorithm and help get this playlist out to all those that want to learn how to make better videos using just your iPhone or smartphone. With that said, let's get started. What does Steven Spielberg and Steve Jobs both have in common? No, it's not the fact that they both share the same first name or they both wear glasses. They're actually both visual storytellers. While Steven Spielberg uses big fancy cameras to tell his stories in his blockbuster movies, Steve Jobs tells his stories using a camera in a small yet powerful device, the iPhone. So why tell a story? Well, stories have been around since the beginning of time. You know, us humans were wired to tell stories and to listen to stories. It's how we communicate. Now, there's no one right way to tell a story. In fact, there's many different ways you can tell a story. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to be using the classic hero's journey story structure. So unless you've been living under a rock, you've probably heard of Star Wars. And I am a big fan of Star Wars and have been a big fan since I was very young, and I really enjoy the series. But I'm going to be using Star Wars A New Hope, the movie, for this example. So, like in every hero's journey story, they start with the hero. So the hero is Luke Skywalker, and Luke is called to adventure. Following that, Luke meets a problem. That problem is the evil Empire. Next, Luke meets a guide, which is Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan gives him a plan to defeat the Empire, and this is through Jedi training. Following that, Luke is called to action, and this means facing Darth Vader head-on, fighting him, and fighting the Empire. Now, by taking action, Luke is able to avoid failure and find success through the destruction of the Death Star. And as a result, Luke is transformed. He goes through a transformation from someone that had no idea what the Force was to now fully embracing the power of the Force and using it for good. So now that you have a basic understanding of story, the one thing I want you to keep in mind is structure. Why? Because in whatever video that you create, you have to have structure. Because if you don't, you're just going to be filming whatever, and there's no point, no purpose to what you're filming for. Now, there's different types of video styles that you can create. There's vlogs, educational videos, content videos. We're going to be focusing on promotional videos. So let's go over basic promotional video structure. Now, you have to focus first on what the video's purpose is. So before recording any video, you have to establish what the end goal is, right? So is this video to encourage people to subscribe to your YouTube channel, to buy a product, sign up for an offer? So knowing the structure of your video beforehand will help meet that goal. So next we have the hook. So this is a statement or question that grabs the viewer's attention. So people have a short attention span, and studies have shown that within the first 5 to 10 seconds of a video, that determines whether a viewer will keep watching the video or click off. So make it count. So next we have the intro. This is where you introduce yourself. This is done by either having like a name tag, in the bottom corner, or by you introducing your name and title verbally, for example. So next we have the body, and this is where you establish your credibility. And you also highlight a problem to overcome and how you can help the viewer overcome that problem. Following that, you have the outro. So this is where you circle back to the main message of your video. And this is reminding the viewer why they're watching the video in the first place. For promotional videos, the outro should end on a positive note, but not abruptly. Think of the last line on your outro as if you're tying a bow on a gift. You know, it's a nice finishing touch that wraps everything together. And lastly, you have your call to action, or CTA for short. This is where you tell your viewer to take action. And this can be done by writing or saying, click the link below, subscribe, sign up today.
I got a plan. Might get us both killed, but if it works, it'll be a totally boss story. Cool?
No, it's not cool.
Cool.
No, I said it's not cool.
Now that you have structure, the next thing you need is a plan. Here are the 4 steps you need to take before recording your video. Well, the first thing you want to do is to pick out a location. If you're going to be filming indoors, find a place that is well lit. If not, bring some lighting. If you're filming outdoors, it's better to film either early morning or later in the afternoon. The reason why is because in the middle of the day, the light is pretty harsh and can cast some harsh shadows along your face. One way to get around this is if the weather outside is overcast, the clouds are able to diffuse the sun's light, making the light softer and less harsh. You want to make sure that the sun isn't behind you. It's going to create a dark shadow in front of you when you're presenting to the camera, and you want to make sure that the viewer is able to see you pretty well. So if anything, make sure that your light source, which is the sun, is at an angle or in front of you. If you're going to be speaking on camera, you're going to be recording audio. So you want to make sure to choose a location that isn't noisy. The reason why is because 9 times out of 10, your mic is going to pick up that background noise, and you want to make sure that your voice is heard clearly and the background noise doesn't become a distraction for your audience. Next thing you want to do is to create your shot list sequence. So this is just a way for you to make sure you hit all the shots that you want and not to forget them. So let's go over it briefly. So I have my shot list broken down into location, the action, and the type of shot. And I also have their priority and good to have. So what this means is location, where the shot is going to take place, the action, what I'm going to film, and the type of shot, what the framing is, what type of movement I'm going to create when filming. When it comes to priority and good to have, priority, I put the check next to the shots that I need to absolutely get. Good to have are the ones that, if I have extra time, are the extra shots that I can get. But one thing to keep in mind is get the shots you need to get, but don't waste your time trying to get the perfect shot. Get the shot, move on, and keep filming. So when it comes to filming B-roll, you want to make sure that the action shots you get are in line with what you talk about. So for example, if you talk about working with a team, being at the office, then you want to get shots of you working with a team and being at the office. Here, looking at the shot list, I have location, outside the office, the action is the entrance of the car, and the shot type is a wide shot. And this is checked as priority. So next, plan what gear you need for the shoot, lighting, audio, and other stabilization equipment. Now in terms of filming like a promotional video, if you're going to be speaking to the camera, the backbone of your video is going to be the speaking portion. This right here, presenting to the camera, that's going to be the backbone. So if you decide to add action shots, what I recommend doing is speaking to the camera first. Hit all your points that you need to get. Once you have that finished, then go ahead and start filming action shots, which is also known as B-roll. And the last thing to keep in mind is to film for the edit. This means to make sure that you have your editing process in mind, what the end video is going to look like once it's fully edited. So that's why it's important to have a structure, know what you're going to be filming, so that way when you're editing on your computer, you'll know the sequence. and it's going to be that much faster.
Total concentration. You ready, Jack? I was born ready.
So now that you have a plan, the next step is to take action. I'm going to be showing you how to record yourself using your iPhone for the best results. So now let's talk about how to set up your iPhone for filming. I'm going to be using the example of just recording yourself. If you're going to do a presentation on camera, if you're going to be teaching something and you're going to be recording yourself, this is how I usually do it. So right now I have my ring light set up, as you can see. It also acts as a tripod, so I'm able to place my iPhone on the top here and secure it. With that being said, in terms of spacing, I'm standing about maybe 3 feet, 2.5 to 3 feet away from my iPhone. Now, while we're on the topic of relation to the camera, let's also talk about our relation to the background. You don't really want to have your back directly against like a wall or anything, because you can see that there is a harsh shadow back here. Instead, I like to stand about 2-3 feet away from my background, or more if you can. That way, the shadow here is very subtle. You can't really tell. As you increase your light, the shadow becomes a lot darker. So let's bring it down a little bit. That way it's subtle. In terms of framing, the framing is, from this corner around in proportions to where I'm in the frame. I like to stand right in the middle. There's equal spacing on both sides. And on the top, I have still enough room to where the top of my head isn't being cut off. I'm not too low. There's just enough space right here, probably about like finger length, as you can see. And you want to make sure that your phone isn't tilted up or tilted down. You want to make sure that it's facing directly straight ahead, and it's also set in terms of height on your tripod. It's directly proportional to your height. When speaking to the camera, this is something that I myself make mistakes sometimes. I catch myself doing this, but it's so simple. But we end up doing the same mistake, and that is speaking off camera, like I'm doing right now. And so what you want to do is to make sure to look directly into the front-facing camera of your iPhone. And it's right at the top of your iPhone. You can't miss it. Speak directly there. And I know you're going to have the urge to look at yourself, but in the end product, when the video is finally done, your eyes are going to be looking off camera. You want to be looking directly into the camera because you're speaking directly to the viewer. That's very, very important. When you pick a location, you want a place that is well lit. If not, get a light. So, for example, as you can see right here, I just turned off my light, and it's okay. I mean, I have my window here bringing in natural light. With that being said, if you don't have any lights at all and you want to present to the camera, the best thing that you can do is to go to a window, maybe stack some books or whatever else, or if you have a tripod, place it in front of the window, have the front-facing camera face you, stand in front of the window so that the light is shining in front of you. That way you're getting all the natural light. Now with audio, you can see that I have a mic attached to me. This is a clip-on mic that I have attached directly to my iPhone. But without it, this is what it'll sound like. This is what the audio sounds like when I'm standing about 2.5-3 feet away from the iPhone. Now you can hear the difference. So that's why I recommend getting a clip-on mic if you are presenting in front of the camera. So now that you know how to structure, plan, and record your video, it's now time to dive into the details and learn how to make your next video even better.